Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 4 of Before the Green. As you may have noticed over the weekend, we're back for another great year of NASCAR racing with all the faces that you loved from last year, and Donnie,
Donnie.
as well as our newest addition, Kevyn. So we're going to do things a little differently this year, but I believe it'll be a more enjoyable experience for all of you. So to start things off...
I just want to say, not much has changed.
That's true.
We'll get to that.
A few things.
To start things off, my name is Evan. I'm one of the co-creators of the podcast, along with my good friend Donnie, although sometimes I question why I would give him that title. I'm a former iRacer, a childhood Jeff Gordon fan turned Alex Bowman fan, and I am the resident historian who sucks horribly at trivia and can't think quickly on his feet. So
can't do much quickly on your feet, if we're being honest.
There's a reason the camera only gets the neck up.
Hey, man. When dinner's ready, he can move.
Don't we all?
All right. As you guys already know, I'm Don Johnston. I am the voice that is trusted when it comes to NASCAR picks.
Oh, my God.
I am back-to-back two-time defending series champ on this. Also, fun fact, back-to-back Daytona winner. So, yeah, as I was saying, not much has changed.
Also, fun fact, not a snorkeler, but he's got his goggles on.
Do you think these are swimming goggles?
They're not, I know. I can't come up with any other thing that would be as ludicrous.
Do you know why I wear these?
Why?
Because when you win as much as I do, you never know when champagne bottles are going to be popped.
Oh, my Lord.
You wouldn't know.
Evan's not much of a swimmer. He's more like a beached whale. Try, buddy.
I'm going to start the season off right and let you know I'm like a good bowel movement. I'm a floater.
It's because you can't get enough water in the tub to cover you.
Oh, man. All right. Well, my name is Korey. I am fairly new NASCAR fan. I think this is my third year watching. Kyle Larson fan, the GOAT. And I am here to dethrone Don Johnson this year from his points winnings. So
yeah, NASCAR's GOAT's really going to do that. Yeah, you know what they say about Larson, old one time.
Man, our season starts in March, so don't worry about it.
I called Kyle Larson the Gorn this week because I think it's more accurate. He's the greatest of right now.
That's fair enough.
Maybe an Indy.
Well, he's definitely better than Helio.
Maybe once he runs a full schedule, I'll agree with you, but
part-time.
All right, who's our new guy?
Actually, part-time explains why Korey likes him.
Whoa.
Oh, man. All right, my name's Kevyn. I am newer than Korey to NASCAR. This is the second season I'm following. I'm a Ty Gibbs fan, and I do another channel called Kevyneats, so check it out.
Oh,
shameless.
First episode.
All right.
I will say, nothing says new to the sport like I'm a Ty Gibbs fan.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's good to be back. I'm glad to have you guys all back with me.
We'll see if you feel that way at the end of this.
I probably won't. I'm going to be honest, I don't really feel that way now.
Are you like laying down doing this podcast? Or
I am stretched out on the couch, yeah.
The only way you fit in frame.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I want to be comfy.
Hey, as well.
You can't see it out of frame, but Mary Lee's got the forklift that she just kind of...
I mean, I'm laying down. Kevin's in Paris. Korey's in the Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
New spot. New spot since last season.
Yeah. You or me?
Both of us.
Oh, where are you at?
I'm in the same house, just in my living room. But
okay.
Yeah.
And why is that, Korey?
Well, that's big news in the off season. Well, I guess it wasn't really the off season, but the end of last season.
Corey's wife kicked him out.
Yeah, that's it.
To the living room.
The living room is where I live now. So yeah.
The good news is if Sarah's playing karaoke in the background, now we all get to hear her. So it's super positive.
So what's the big news, Coco?
Well, my office is turning into a baby's room, I guess. So
Who's baby?
That's a different
my
podcast.
baby.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew it was Sarah's. You never know.
No, it's mine.
Things need answered. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be here for like 4 episodes, and then I'm gonna peace out.
Little Evan, Donnie, Kevyn, MacArthur.
He already told us the name. It's going to be
Wow.
Christopher Bell. So
Way to dox me already. Thanks, bud.
All right. What do you say we get into NASCAR, guys? I'm sorry.
That was brutal. Okay.
What was brutal?
agreeing to do this another season.
If you think it's bad for you, imagine what anyone listening feels like.
Shout out to our one listener who does picks along with us, Jen Hunter Nemechek with the win.
Yeah.
Ben Hunter.
I even called her out. I'm like, back to back at Daytona, that's a bold call. And sure enough, he did it.
Hey, I did it too. So what can I say?
Honestly, Kevyn, take us into the.
All right. So I guess we're going to go into after the checkers. So I don't know, like topics. What do you guys want to talk about today?
It's kind of your job, bro. That's why we brought you on.
See
All
the
right.
big number. See
Oh.
the number 1 there.
Well, to be honest, I just read this. Okay, so
we all
Hey,
did.
it's like
Yeah.
when Korey did it.
Yeah,
back
all right.
last year.
Yeah, Evan.
so William
You're
Byron
right,
wins
it
in
brings so
Daytona.
much joy.
Producers
Um,
talking, Donnie. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna mute Donnie. Somehow it won't work. Anyway, so William Byron wins in Daytona after 2 late wrecks took out a large portion of the field. What stuck out to you most throughout the race, Evan?
Ooh, we're gonna start with me. Actually, there was a couple things that I kind of had gripes with. For one, fuel mileage still dominates the headline, right? But I think the thing that upset me the most, regardless of your political affiliation, because I understand that this could rub some people the wrong way, but you can't tell me NASCAR looked at the forecast and said, oh, we should move the start time ahead an hour because it'll be better and we can maybe get the race in, only for us to only get in 8 laps. The reason we started early had nothing to do with the racing, had nothing to do with anything other than the fact that they wanted Donald Trump, the president, to show up at the track, do his parade lap and things of that nature, which I understand, great for ratings, things like that. But moving it ahead an hour just made it an extra hour-long delay for everybody who had tuned in to watch the race. That kind of drove me nuts. Just another example of TV controlling the sport and taking away from the actual racing. So that bothered me a bit. Not that it bothered me seeing Trump or any of that, but that's what stuck out to me this weekend as a gripe. Didn't particularly.
So
too much.
you don't think that was going to be done even if it was an hour later?
No, I don't think he would have stuck around during the rain to wait for the rain to be done, right? They moved it ahead an hour so they had sunshine and the fans would be in the stands and all that.
Yeah.
They knew when the rain was coming or when it was expected.
Sound more like John Hunter Biden than Hunter Nemechek.
There we go. So that's what I have, Kev.
All right.
That was most exciting part of the race, in my opinion. But hey, what do I know?
No, it was good. I just wish that it had been done, that it could have been done, later in the day if there was a rain delay.
All right. Well, what stuck out most to me is NASCAR fans complaining because
Yeah.
we complain about the whole fuel mileage. These guys don't race and blah, blah, blah. It's boring. It's just a parade and we only race at the end. And then you got Joey Logano trying to make things happen. And then what's he doing racing so soon? There's still so much race left. Like, there's no pleasing anybody, it seems, nowadays. And so, like, this is the third year out of 5 that we've had weather issues. That sucks. It takes the wind out of the sails, but I mean, that's what happens when you have any outdoor sport. So, the end of the day, it was Daytona 500. We raced to the line. I mean, that was better than last year. And then people are complaining NASCAR's not consistent because they didn't throw the yellow, which wouldn't have changed the result. But I mean, this is what we were complaining about last year, and then they give us what we want, and it's just they're not consistent. It's the first race of the season. When are you looking for consistency? Like, give them time. But that's, yeah, I thought it was overall a positive day. I enjoyed it. It was a good weekend altogether. Great racing. And yeah, the weather and the kind of the debris cautions took, we didn't have, I don't think we had one green flag pit stop. So
no, that kind of sucked. And
yeah,
the 2 debris cautions too kind of bugged me because like they didn't even show the debris. So it's like, it's and almost
I assume
okay,
it was
like,
there. You know what I mean? Like, but
you have to, but it's almost like back in the day when the phantom cautions there was a big thing, but it makes the guy wonder. But
I get it.
Overall, it was Daytona. It is what it is now. There's not a whole lot of passing. Everyone's in the draft, and whoever survives at the end is the winner. And William Byron done it the last 2 years. So,
and for Korey, what stuck out most to you? Is it just Trump?
Speaking of loud breathing, oh, what a weekend I had at
Hey,
the Daytona 500 with Evan Locke's apartment.
Remember what I have on my phone.
Sorry, buddy.
Tread lightly.
No, don't worry about treading lightly. Donnie can't.
That was pretty much it. Kevyn, I mean, I don't know if we talk about it later, but Ryan Preece, another big wreck. That was pretty crazy. Like, yeah. Dude's luckier than William Byron, I think. So, except this time he said it hurt worse than last time. So that's, concerning. But I mean,
yeah, maybe Elon Musk.
He's okay. He's okay. So that's
yeah, that's the main part for sure.
Oh, look, there we do talk about it in our third topic. See, this is why you read outlines beforehand. But...
Yes.
So, JR Motorsports made their Cup Series debut this weekend after racing their way into the 500 with Justin Allgaier. What are your thoughts on this, Donnie?
I think it's exactly what this sport needs right now. Like I said, it's good to have Junior in the booth. He's one of the most beloved faces of NASCAR. I mean, the guy's been retired for years now, and he's still basically the face of NASCAR. So if we see Junior move over, full-time and owner of a Cup car there every week, I mean, that's going to bring a lot of folks back that have already left the sport. And with all the media that he has and all the irons in the fire that, he's just going to bring more people into the sport. So I love it. I'm happy that they made it in. Top 10 finish, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think ninth. Came in ninth.
Eighth or ninth or something.
Successful. So I loved it.
Yep. And wants to continue it. So
that's the best part.
You think that's an issue? Like you just said, he's still the face of NASCAR. That's kind of concerning in a way.
Oh, it is.
Very.
Yeah. Because there's a point where you got to move on, but it's just like when we lost Dale, like that's kind of like Dale Sr., that was one of the big faces of the sport, but we still had Gordon, and then all Dale's fans just transferred right over on the Junior, right?
Yeah.
But when Junior left, there wasn't really that guy that everybody jumped onto. Like Chase Elliott's the most popular, but he's not that personality. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it is a bit concerning, I think, for sure. Like we do have to eventually move on, but I mean, where do you go right now?
And truthfully, if we can prolong the moving on until later when we have someone to actually fill that role, if Junior stepping into that role as an owner in the Cup Series is kind of like a bridge gap there that holds us over until we get another superstar level talent, because it really, like, don't come at me, but Junior didn't accomplish an astounding amount as a driver. Now, don't get me wrong, 6 wins, nothing to shy away from. Like, that's a great career by most standards.
Two-time
Hall of
Xfinity
Fame worthy.
champ.
Right. But, like, you don't look at him and go, oh, he's on a Mount Rushmore of drivers, right? He's not, it's hard to look at his career and say he was the most popular because he was the most talented at the time. He raced in an era of giants, right? That's the reality. And so, his 26 wins are more impressive than someone who had 26 wins in a rather lackluster era. But we need someone that can step into that role as the personality. We don't need someone to have a wildly successful career, but we need someone the fans resonate with. That's the reality. As far as, them making the Cup debut this weekend, I think it was great. Great to see another sponsor in the sport. Great to see Allgaier have an opportunity to show off his talent again. He was really impressive in May at the Coke 600 as well in the Cup Series. There's a lot of really, really good feel-good stories there. I think it's
Why
great.
was he racing the Coke 600?
Knew that was coming.
Because to some people, it's just not that important.
Okay.
Yeah, sadly.
I mean, talk about not wanting to be the face of your sport. You can't even show up for one of the crown jewels.
Right? Kyle's
Yeah.
the face of dirt racing, okay?
I
How
think
was
on
that,
this.
how did that Chili Bowl go, anyways, that he won recently?
Anyways, let's on a side note. I also like seeing Jimmy Johnson up there, third place for the race too. Like, that was awesome.
That was a big deal.
That was
Yeah.
was great.
Legacy Motorsport as a whole this weekend, like last year, 1 top 5, 3 top 10s, I think, and already 2 top 5s, and Eric Jones finished 12th. Like,
Yeah,
And technically won the duel.
yeah,
You know what I mean? If it's not for the
Like-
caution, he wins it.
Yeah, like that's a big weekend for these guys. Jimmy Johnson's now the majority owner of that team. You got
Oh,
to
is he?
wonder, yeah. So, like, maybe he's getting things turned around a bit. Maybe he's able to pull some more deals. So, yeah, I love to see it.
Actually, for a weekend where they won so much, the biggest loss of their weekend was that awkward moment with poor Eric Jones having to sit at the
Oh,
start
man.
finish line and then get in the car and drive away. I felt a little bad for him, but I'm like, I've been in a situation like that before, just not in front of that many people.
all right. All right, next topic. I think Korey kind of already touched on this with Ryan Preece, not Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs didn't wreck out for the first time, feels like. In a race that lacked highlights, the biggest seems to be the wreck with Ryan Preece flipping over his car. Is this a concern to any of you? I'll open the floor for this one.
Yeah. Anytime these cars go upside down, you got to be concerned. And I think anytime these cars do go upside down, NASCAR's concerned. Guaranteed that's all they're talking about, the first hour meeting after Daytona. But every year, we keep doing more. We've paved the grass. We've done different things, but it just, I don't know what it is with this car, but freak things keep happening and we keep going flying.
And that was a weird wreck too. It was just the front of it just lifted like a kite. Like
Catwalked
it was
it.
Yeah, exactly. And they're blaming the underbody there being
Flat.
all covered. What's that called?
Flat.
Yeah, no, but like there's an actual name for what that thing is, but I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe there's not.
Oh, you mean like the name of it?
Yeah, the
skid plate?
Oh, well, sort of, yeah, the underbody, but yeah, I know what you mean. The diffuser and the air dam and all that.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, air dam, diffuser, and then I forget what they call the middle piece, but
Watch
yeah.
your profanities.
I'm gonna go the other way here. I don't think it's like extra concerning, if that makes sense. Like,
It doesn't.
no, so hear me out, okay? When you get into these cars, there is always a danger risk, right? And we have become somewhat immune to the thought of it because of how safe the cars are. I'm not saying that you can't look for improvements, but at some point, physics is physics, right? So, you hit the wall the right way, even at 40 mile an hour, you can roll the car, right? So it's not that it's not a concern, but I don't want to see us go like, okay, we're cutting horsepower halfway back. Or, doing this, that, whatever. The reality is, if the cars aren't as bunched up, we likely don't see this. But when you get hit from 3 or 4 different angles at a very close amount of time, the car is unsettled. That allows air to get underneath it, things like that. The reality is, racing is dangerous. It always is going to be. And so while we have to strive for safety, and I'm not saying we shouldn't, I don't want to see it be like all these red flags go up and all of a sudden we have a situation where it's not really racing anymore or whatever, which is, we're kind of there with speedway racing right now anyway, where it's not really racing, not out of a safety standpoint, but out of a fuel mileage standpoint. I don't want to see the product get worse, especially drastically worse, in the name of theoretical safety that will never fully be accomplished because we have cars going 180 to 190 miles per hour.
So
Does that make
basically,
sense?
you're good to sacrifice Ryan Preece for a better product. Yeah.
No, that's not it's not what I'm saying.
But at the end of the day, they did what was required. He walked away with no injuries. So I mean,
right,
there's,
it's still
never gonna be
concerning
perfect.
that it's happening.
It is concerning, but
NASCAR doesn't drag their feet on this, so that's not concerning that they're not going to do anything. But
I'm sure they'll look at it. Like they look at every wreck that happens, I think, and see what they can do. But
like I say, physics is physics, right? Like there comes a point where some things are just going to happen because of how impacts occur, right? And had he not climbed up on top of, was it Bell's car? Is that whose car he hit to get the nose in the air, right? Like we're not seeing them when they go sideways anymore.
Anyway, so since we didn't do any preseason episode besides that little surprise visit from Donnie, what's something you're hoping to see from your favorite driver this year? Let's start with Donnie, since he's got a new favorite for this year.
Ooh, that's true.
I'm hoping to see fairness and not NASCAR stabbing him in the back again. I'd like to see Christopher Bell make it into the Final Four and have the showing that he had at Phoenix last spring show up in the fall. So, yeah, I'd like to see Christopher Bell, 2025 NASCAR champion. And I think it's a big possibility that it happens.
Yeah.
I won't argue that.
Yeah. Korey, what about you, man? What do you want to see from Larson?
Full season for sure.
I was going to say full 5 season.
No, at this point with Kyle Larson, it's pretty much championship or bust.
Yeah.
I think, he's going to get his wins, hopefully, quite a few. But, it's pretty much a lock for the playoffs if we're looking at it. And just, have a good run in the playoffs, survive the tracks that he hasn't survived at, like the Atlantas and Talladegas, right? It's like get a top 15 finish instead of wrecking out the first stage. So if he can do that, I think he's got a good a shot as anybody to win it. So
all right. And anyways, next topic.
Easy.
What's his favorite driver?
Alex
Suarez. Alex Bowman. There we go.
Yeah. I want to see 36 races that are driven the way the first 6 races of last year's playoffs were for Alex Bowman. We started off great so far with, stage points in every stage, top 10 finish. But we need to be consistent on it. We need to be there at every track. We need to be, racing every stage like it's the end of the race. That's what we need. If we can get that, then we'll get the wins. And if we get the wins, then we can worry about the playoffs as they come. That's what I want to see this year. I want to see multiple wins. It's been a long time since 2021 when we had 4, and we've had
he had 4 wins.
He had 4 wins in 2021, and he won, I think, Vegas the next year. Went winless the year he broke his back, and then won at Chicago last year. Need to see wins. Need to see consistency. That's what we're looking for.
I just want to see him make weight.
Well, I'm trying that for both of us.
Better chance with Bowman.
Yeah. What about you, Kev? Because before we switch topics, you should have your opportunity too.
I need to take a quick break after my. Anyways, I just like to see Ty Gibbs win a race this year. That's pretty much all.
Great
Like,
goal.
Start with that.
yeah, like it's his third season in Cup. Like he made it to the playoffs last year somehow. So, but yeah,
That's fair. He's got the equipment.
yeah, he's got Grandpa's money, so he should be able to do somewhat good. All right, and for our last topic of discussion, who is your way too early pick for Rookie of the Year and Champion? Let's start with you, Evan.
I'm actually. This is not going to be popular. I'm taking Riley Herbst for Rookie of the Year.
That is definitely not popular.
I know it's not. And champion. Truthfully, I think it's probably Bell or Larson, so I'll go with Larson.
For me, Rookie of the Year, I got to give it to SVG. I don't think there's a way he doesn't win a road course. So, and for champion, well, you know who I think is going to be the champion. So,
Christopher Bell,
Mr. Young Money,
Ty Gibbs.
We're not delusional on this podcast. What are you talking about?
Larson's Young Money. Ty is Grandpa's money.
Yeah.
There we go.
Old money.
I thought that was Austin Dillon.
Oh,
There might be no money after last year.
Yeah.
Donnie, what's your pick for Rookie?
Honestly, I'm going with Evan on this one too. I think Riley Herbst. I think he's going to impress at 23-11. I don't think SVG is going to win this year.
I
I
think he
know we're
will.
road course heavy, but people aren't going to be as surprised by SVG anymore. They know what to expect. He gets raced harder now. We saw that at Chicago, and people aren't afraid to, move him out of the way anymore. So I think Herbst is the pick to make there. And as far as the championship goes, I want to see Christopher Bell. I think he's got all the talent to do it, but I honestly think Chase Elliott is going to be our champion this year.
Ooh.
Whatever the nine
I
doing,
wouldn't
they
be
look good.
surprised.
And I think I think once Chase has momentum and things are going good, they're able to keep things going good for a long time. So
You know what impressed me with Riley Herbst this week, just because we're here? That last lap save through the grass when he didn't come back up in the field, didn't get into the pit, he just saved the car.
Yeah.
I was impressed. Yeah. What about you, Kev?
Well, for Rookie, I'm going to actually side with Korey on this one. I think SVG is going to be the Rookie. And Champion, I really don't know. It's it's Bell, Larson, Elliott. If none of those guys make it in the top four, I'd be really surprised. So,
Well, that's valid.
if it's not one of the top 16 guys, I'll be shocked. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
Come on,
you've only watched one
What?
season, so
You gotta make a pick. We need a name.
Oh, really? Here, let me just take a look at the drivers.
No.
All right, I guess
Just
we don't
what
need
we
it.
got. Throw a dart.
Throw a dart.
If it lands on the 48, throw it again.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Landed right there. I don't know.
Well, honestly, take 5 minutes. I'm sure the listeners don't mind. This awkward silence brought to you by Kevin Stahlbaum.
See, I don't need, I don't know.
Kevin's he's putting the stall and stall bomb tonight.
Right? Oh, Donnie, how hard is it to make picks? Well, clearly, bud, pretty hard.
He was asking me today who he should pick. I'm like, I'm not helping you.
Also, why would you ask the guy who's never gotten a win on the podcast?
Right?
Yet?
Exactly.
That is very true.
This Mark Martin guy looks promising.
All right, Kevin doesn't have a pick.
No.
No,
really
you're not
don't.
gonna make a pick. What a guy.
All right.
Well,
so
let's
Kevin's
just ask you
minus
this
1
then:
point.
which one of us do you think was right?
Well, that's kind of where I'm at. Chase Elliott, I think,
Why would you vote against me? Yeah.
well,
Probably because of the
Okay.
stupid goggles.
Yeah, really, eh?
So the pedo glasses.
Yeah, but these are aviators.
At least I'm allowed in school zones.
I'm only not allowed in school zones because I speed.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So no pick for Kevin then. He's going Chase Elliott, right? Or I guess that is your pick.
Well,
Right?
there goes my pick.
All right. All right. Well, what do you say we get into before the green and picks?
All right, so we're heading to Atlanta, a second drafting style track to continue the season, or is it just a repeat of Daytona?
I think it's going to be a repeat. I mean, we did a repave there a few years ago. The track's starting to change a bit. We've had some cold winters in Atlanta, so grip's starting to get away. I think it's going to look a little more like old Atlanta, maybe, but I still think we're maybe like, half super speedway.
And I expect after the last 2 races we see in Atlanta, I'm expecting way more than what we see in Daytona, like racing wise. So should be excited. I'm excited for it.
Which is saying a lot considering how your guy ended last year fall race.
It's all right. I told you our season starts in March.
Yeah. And it ends in September.
Fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely elements that are the same. The track has, or supposedly has changed a lot, which is exciting. I think the biggest thing, even if the track hasn't changed much, is because it's so narrow. It's a completely different beast, right? You don't have the room to go 3 and 4 wide. Well, you have the room to go 3 wide, but not with maybe Ricky in the middle, kind of thing. So I think people are a little more tend to watch what they do and things like that. Last year we saw a 3 or 4 car breakaway in the first stage before Kyle Larson had his impact with the wall. Hopefully this year Chase Briscoe finds the Joe Gibbs brakes to be better, because he really clamored in there too. So it's definitely got different elements to it. I'm excited for it. I'm not still necessarily on the train for back-to-back drafting style races to start the season, but at the same point, they could definitely do worse.
Bad
Smaller
news,
track
Chase.
too, right?
It is smaller, yeah.
Yeah. So
Mile
that
and a half.
plays a whole different.
Yeah. I think Corey cut you off, Don.
Sorry, bud.
No, I just said I got bad news for you, Chase. I don't think the brakes are much better at JGR.
Well, that's probably true. Well, Corey, you get to.
So like that's
Well-
kind of like I just seeing this now. Loser does picks. Like that's kind of dumb. Like
Why?
Why? Because you think
this
you'll
was
never have
my
to do it?
segment all last year, and now you've made it impossible for me to do it.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, go ahead, Corey. Guess you got a new full-time segment. Congratulations.
Can we muzzle him or something? I thought he was supposed to.
Haven't tried.
Apparently not hard enough.
All right, let's talk picks for Atlanta. We haven't told you anything prior to now. However, we did make picks for the Clash, which I won. So
No, we
let's-
didn't.
We did so make picks
Okay,
for the
sure.
Clash. So
Just
yeah,
lie
of
to me.
course.
Put the video up, Corey.
So anyways, I did win. So Donnie and I both have a point for the season. So
I don't believe it.
Neither do I.
well, that's
no
fine.
video evidence.
There is a Discord chat.
Illusion, so or else he'll leave. So okay,
So I
Corey, you
picked
got a
Ryan
point.
Blaney for the Clash, who drove from the back to second. So that was good. Donnie won at Daytona with John Hunter Nemechek, who finished fifth, followed by Evan's pick of Riley Herbst. I almost said Ryan, but it's Riley in 17th. Hamlin in 24th for Kevin. And I, unfortunately, am starting the year off the same as last year with a 30, actually one worse than last year, with a 38th finish for Martin Truex Jr.
Brian Martin Truex.
Well, hey, Ryan probably would have done a better job, so but
Actually-
that's beside the point,
What's crazy is we all wanted the Martin Truex pick.
right?
No, what's crazy is if I would have got him, he would have finished fifth at
That's
least. but-
exactly, yeah. For
I
sure.
heard that actually. That was part of Colpern's game plan to have a successful return was
Yeah,
to have
yeah.
you pick him.
He knew I was picking first because I won the championship last year, but
Right.
So, anyways, Truex is gone. We'll probably never see him again, so I'll never have to pick him again. So this week, Donnie picks first, followed by Evan, Kevin, and then me. Who you got there, Don?
I mean, does it even really matter where I pick from?
I
My
mean,
goodness.
if you want to pick last, you can.
No, I think I'll.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Big talk.
Yeah. All right. I think I got to stick with what kind of was playing out at Daytona. Ford was dominating that day, especially Penske. And so with that, I gotta think they'll have their stuff and a better game plan headed in. I'm sure they got a stern talking to, because I know Ryan wasn't happy with Joey and how things shook out there. So all that being said, give me Austin Cindric.
Oh,
Okay.
that was my pick. I'm angry.
It
Okay.
was never your pick.
See, here's the problem. I think Penske's probably going to do very well, but I don't want to waste one of the better Penske drivers on this particular event. So, give me, man,
Big Mama. Sorry.
yeah, I don't want to waste a good pick. I'm going to go with Ty Dillon.
Hi, Dylan. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you're gonna waste a great pick, okay?
Yeah, that's what it is.
He was my real pick for 2025 champ, but
Yeah, no doubt. Nobody three-peats, you know this.
All right. So I'm not gonna waste a good pick for this
you
one. I
still
did
haven't
that
made a
last
pick
week.
yet. So
So I'm gonna go.
back yet?
No. Oh, for what? Champion?
Yeah.
Yeah, come back to me on that one. Anyway.
Once we get to the final four, you'll pick one.
Yeah. So for this race, I'm gonna go with Daniel Suarez.
Not a
Daniel
bad pick.
Suarez. No, does very well here.
Yeah, he won it last year.
Oh, man. Wow. I was also thinking Cindric, so that threw me for a loop. Do I give?
That was my backup pick.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'm on the Penske train too. Give me Ryan Blaney.
Ooh,
I'm going after him this year.
that's a big pick for
The little guy.
For a little guy.
Well, no, but it's a big pick for a drafting track, man.
Can you imagine picking one of the top drivers and just wasting them? What's that feel like, Kevin?
Oh, horrible.
I don't see me picking Denny early in the year. I want to see how him and that new crew chief mesh before I really go there. In an ideal world, I don't have to pick Denny all year because they don't mesh well, they don't do well, and I don't feel like I have to pick them.
Yeah.
All right.
That's picks, I guess.
That's
Yeah.
picks. So that's
Just
basically the podcast.
Just waiting on producer Kevin to take us out of here.
Okay, put the outro. Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to read it.
Put the outro in your own words.
Anyways, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into this episode of Before the Green. Don't forget to follow us on all of our socials, subscribe to our channel here on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And yeah, peace out, guys.
We'll see y'all next week.
You better than me at that outro. See yous.
Thanks to our sponsor, Kevyneats.